time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Come get some.
It's clobberin' time! Clobberonimo!
Ah, yes, indeedishness. Greetings, clobberers, clobberoids, clobberonimos, clobberooskies, clobberologists, clobberians. In fact, all those who clobber, greetings to you. Those who do not clobber, don't worry. If you wish to learn how to clobber in some way, in some fashion, someday, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Yes, here we are. And remember, it's January, which makes it Batman 66th and Blake 7th month. Just got to celebrate him. Because, well, without him, I wouldn't be here. Without Batman 66, I wouldn't be here. Blake 7, of course, I love very dearly. And it also debuted in January, so we acknowledge it. And it's very, very important to me. And we love it, love it, love it. Many of us love it here. But the cold hard fact, the reality is that Batman 66, let's just say, started me on my geek path. And it got us here. We're all here now because of it. So all hail the great Adam West. Boom, 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 boom. Adam West. I play that song, but I would probably get in trouble. Remember that song? I should sing it one day just in tribute to him no matter what. No matter what anyone said. Because reasons. All right. Well, by the way, I didn't get a chance to get much energy to scoff down much to eat after doing J-Man show tonight. So I am trying to work in while I'm starting on with you all. A bit of a fudge sickle here. If you will indulge me and forgive me for that. Let's see here. How about it? Just since again, it's just me and you tonight. It's open comic book geek talk on Monday night. Mark C. Comics Talk. Clobberin' Times issue number 425 on YouTube. 1,425 overall. And again, I reiterate, named after our dear departed, fantastic friend, the great Mark C. Comic Talk. Clobberin' Times Comic Talk. It is Mark C. Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk, I should say. And so let me just do some show notes and then some shout outs, and then we're just going to hang out. I'm going to talk to you about comic books tonight and let you talk to me about comic books if you choose. Let's see. Had a great time earlier tonight, of course, on J-Man's channel, Talking Legion with J-Man and Sean. Continuing our ongoing mission to review all of every single story appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from their very beginning in 1958 to the end of the Bronze Age, the only Legion eras that matter, 1989. And we're in 1968 right now. We've done, what do I want to say? I think we're like 30 shows now. I think that's what Jay said. From having a blast doing it, though. Having a blast doing it. Let's see here. So I want to thank J-Man for that, of course. Tonight, again, like I said, we're doing the comic stock. And then, oh, by the way, Sunday night I had a great time with the Geekery with the great Mark D with the scene. More on that in a moment. Wild Card Wednesday night this week. No topic, just us. Just you and me geeking out about any kind of geekness you want to geek out about. You name it, we're doing it. And then, of course, Thursday night, Clubby's Clubhouse with my wonderful First Officer, the Magnificent Commander R.M. Briggs, author of the great science fiction book of short stories, Science Fiction Tales, and the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C. With, of course, another Blake 7-episode review and a Star Trek The Untold Voyages review of a comic book. Looking forward to that. Tuesdays and Thursday nights it can be found on the great Midnight's Edge After Dark channel with the amazing Time Connors and that great group over there. Wednesday nights occasionally when they have it, when my buddy Stone Loki has it, the Comic Book Roundtable. And of course, it's 6 p.m. for those Midnight's Edge, and it's 7 p.m. for those Comic Roundtable on Wednesday nights as well. And then on Friday nights, Fearless Friday, back on J-Man's great channel. J-Man and Sean and myself just started for the past couple of weeks now, starting the Frank Miller run of Daredevil, the classic comic book run that speaks for itself, that changed comics. And this week, the issue we're starting on is where Frank took over, is not only doing the penciling, he's doing the whole shebang now, the writing and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on Friday nights, also, after that, I can often be found at Friday Night Comic Shop Talk on my great buddy Nick Weiser's channel, 32 Flavors of, with that great group of Friday Night Comic Shop boys talking comics, reviewing comics, and reviewing and talking comics, and talking comics and reviewing the reviewing of comics and talking. Then on Saturday nights, it's Saturday Night Star Trek, coincidentally. My wonderful First Officer and I reviewing all of Real Star Trek 66 through 05, 735 Club. 4 more episodes of Star Trek Voyager. And we always have a blast. This past Saturday night was so much fun. I want to thank everyone who was here with us. And it is just the best of times. And then again, as I mentioned on Sunday nights, on the great Mark D with a C's channel, Sunday Night Geekery. Sometimes it's Sunday Night Eatery, but most of the time it's Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern. If you want to just kind of wind down and end your long, hard week in a geeky way, it's the geekiest place there is. So it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Now let's shout out our wonderful friends who were here with us tonight. We start out with our wrenches, and then I'll get all the chat shouted out as well. Eric, whether they're here or not, they get the shout out, of course. So I'm wrenches. The great Eric K, the bronze wrencher. Vindicated wrench of the Great White North, Chris Berger. D. Bud Martin, the wrench of iron. Lord Thoth, Avon lives and long live the Legion, my friend. Shout out to the wonderful Lady Thoth. The aforementioned J-Man, wrench without fear. And of course, fellow Legionnaire extraordinaire and partner in crime on Earth B. Maddie's daddy, Leonard Rich Mjolnir, Stephen Cowell, the super wrench, the Fancy Outsider E, the rascally wrench himself, Hungry Boy Master of the Clobberin Time Zone Music Master, Maximum Redstone, and of course, Larry, pulling a rabbit out of his head and a wrench out of his head too. Okay, Doug, I should call him Larry Winkle. Sorry, Larry, I couldn't resist them. All right, let's see. And now with us in the chat, all of you, my dear friends, let's get you all shouted out as well. FKHC 2005. What's up, buddy? We're watching this about. Oh, by the way, we're watching this for about an hour. So, okay, I got you. Well, look, just glad to see you, and thank you for saying hi. No matter how long you're here, it's great to see you. By the way, anyone who is lurking tonight, thank you so much for lurking. You're very much appreciated. I forget to say it sometimes because I'm old and senile, but it is always appreciated. And anyone watching on a download or a rewatch or whatever they want to call them these days, thank you. Again, it is very much appreciated. I don't say it enough, but I try when I remember. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see who's with us in the chat. Penny. Oh, Penny. Hey there, Penny. Good to see you. The lovely Penny is here. Our dear friend. And it's always just fantastic to see you here, my dear. Let's see. Brian Hepburn. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Picasso. Hello. Claude Saling. What's up? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Ravenscroft. Hail, Ravenscroft. Good to see you. Gwagnar. All right, Gwag. Captain Infinity and Beyond Temperus Maximus. DJ Play Nice. Hey there. Mohammed Saeed. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome. Dave C. What's up, Dave C? Good to see you, buddy. Christine Hurt. Well, hello there, Christine Hurt. Greetings to you. I don't know if we've seen you here before, but lovely to see you in face and lovely to have you stop by and with us. Great to see you there. I hope you're doing well. I'm honored to have you pop in. And I don't see anyone else, but anyone else who pops in, of course, as always, will be shouted out accordingly. And again, like I said, tonight's just an open, anything goes night. Hopefully you're hearing me okay out there. Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. So, we do have topics every so often, and sometimes we just sit here, and since it's a comics show, as long as we talk about comic stuff, if you have any questions about comics, I can't guarantee you the greatest answer, but I can certainly take a shot at it, or anything to say to get me to talk about Doc Fortune. What's that, Doc? Like I said, had a great time hanging out, with J-Man and Sean tonight. I'm having so much fun reviewing Legion. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, brother. You're such a good pal, man. Thank you. Thank you for the sound check, buddy. Let's see. What else? What else is it? What are you all doing when it comes to comics right now? You're drawing comics, you're writing comics, you're reading comics, you're bagging and boarding comics. What are you doing with comics right now? Or you're watching shows related to comics or movies. I don't know. For example, I'm in addition to reviewing many comics, I am. What am I doing? Oh, well, I've been rewatching, because we're reviewing Miller's Daredevil run on Friday nights on J-Man's channel. I just got an idea. Just got an idea. It's got in the mood to. It's been. I decided to go back and rewatch or re-binge watch the Netflix Daredevil show, which I loved. I've seen it a couple of times, and so I just went back to it. Man, it goes fast. I mean, it doesn't take any long. Hey, Shooter, what's up, buddy? Shooter. Well, thanks for popping in. I appreciate you, buddy. Christine says, have I been here before? Christine, you may have. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think you may have popped in before. It's lovely to see you, though. I don't know. Are you a comics fan? Are you into comics at all? Oh yeah, Fancy. I'll definitely look at that article. Thanks for putting it up there, Fancy. I'm not forgot about the article. You're sure? Okay. No. So I love that show. And it's just not enough of it, you know. Just they needed to make more of it. Christine says, I am new to reading comics, but I've been in your chat before. Okay. Met through a Wi-Fi and Captain Infinity's group. Okay. Wi-Fi and Captain Infinity's group. There you go. Wi-Fi. Well, it is wonderful to meet you again. See you again for sure. Thank you for popping in. And we love Captain Infinity. So, let's see. It's just, man, watching it brings back a cascade of emotions. It's not, as a Daredevil extremist myself, it is not perfect as someone who loves the character so much, but it is pretty damn good. It's not, this is Miller's Daredevil here. So much of it is taken from Miller's Daredevil. Which is such a classic run that we're having a good time reviewing now. But I got you, Fanty. I'll get to it in a second, Fanty, I promise. It's just, I'm already getting to the point where I'm getting started. This happens to me when I watch a show, since there's so little things I like new anymore that last for any living time. When I go back and rewatch something in a binge way, not if I'm just like picking handful of an episode here and there, like I do with Star Trek or Doctor Who sometimes, or even Blake Seven sometimes. When I'm fanting, like it's a binge in a row. When I get to the end, binges are weird, man. They carry a strange, for me, a strange emotional battle, because if I'm binging something that I like a lot, once I get toward the end and I know it's getting towards the end of the run, I'm like, oh man, I'm really enjoying this. It's a shame it's going to be ending soon, because most of the great stuff, at least the stuff that I like, doesn't last long. Muhammad says, Spider-Man animated Daredevil episodes was awesome. I remember those. I rewatched the whole Spider-Man animated show recently. Or not recently, about a year or so ago. I guess that would be called recent, wouldn't it? So I'm really enjoying going back. Well, actually, I'm on Defenders now. And the reason why you have to, because there's Daredevil season 1 and 2, then you got to go to Defenders, then season 4. And it's really, to watch something like that, to say that, look how far we have fallen. Because they're planning to do another Daredevil show, and I'm just terrified. They're going to really make that horrible. Because they just, oh my goodness, I see how good that show is. I'm like, man, they had to scrap, after filming a bunch of episodes of Born Again, the Disney Daredevil drivel, scrap a few episodes and start all over again. They had to throw it in the garbage and start over again. Which, on the one hand, you go, well, good. If they needed to do that, it's good that they do that. But the fact that they had to do that at all, and they do it so much now, when you hear about all these movies that they had to go back and reshoot, that tells you of extraordinary incompetence at Disney Marvel. Yeah, like, there's a hot news flash, right? Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, it's a day ending and why for that, but still, it's bad enough what they did to him in those episodes of She-Hulk, disgusting. But this one, they got so wrong that they couldn't even finish making it. And now it's one thing to go reshoot a film. This is pretty much similar to that, except it's a TV series that they scrapped and they're starting over. And now they're putting two characters that they should never have left out in the first place. Carrot and Foggy are going to be in it. We don't know how much. And they're putting the Punisher in it. They're calling it Born Again. And they took most of the Born Again, not all, but much of the Born Again plot elements from from in season 3. They used it for season 3, I should say. Used a lot of them for that. So I don't know what it is. This what are they going to try to adapt? They're not even going to adapt Born Again. I guess. Look, it's ridiculous that they're calling this Born Again, unless they're really going to go ahead and just try to use elements from Born Again and repeat themselves. I don't know what they're doing. Just make a new season. Leave Born Again alone. You didn't call season 3 Born Again. You just called it season 3, and that's fine. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Shouldn't they be calling it Born Again again? They already covered Born Again story in Netflix season. Exactly. Why are you calling it Born Again? They're morons. They learn nothing. Because yes, they got Charlie Cox. Sure. Yes, they bring back Karen and Foggy. Good. Well, in a good situation. And they bring back Punisher. Again, I'm not so sure he needs to be hanging around with him in a whole season of Daredevil. Then again, he's probably gonna be in like one episode. I mean, I like Bernthal and all this. I'm not even a Punisher guy, but I like Bernthal. But what does the Punisher have to do with Born Again? Nothing. But they're probably gonna make him like I can see these idiots like instead of having Nuke, who they did set up in another episode, the character of Nuke from Born Again was set up in one of those. It was like a Jessica Jones or whatever show, maybe, which was. They'll probably they'll ignore that they had Nuke, and they'll probably make the Punisher stand in for Nuke. I could see them doing that stupid. Born again, I exist. I don't exist. Oh wait, I do exist, says Captain Infinity. Yes, buddy, that's right. Pretty much. Oh my God, Chris, you think I'm right? Did I hit it on the head that they're gonna probably instead of using Nuke from Born Again, even though they did set him up in whatchamacallit, was it whatchamacallit, Jessica Bones. They're probably going to ignore that they did that, and they'll probably use Frank Castle as Nuke or something, like just use him as a stand-in, and have him do some of the crap that Nuke did. We also know. By the way, third season had some okay, but I actually had a lot of problems with the third season of Daredevil. Oh, it's better than any garbage they're going to do now. But there are a lot of things wrong with it, in my opinion. I think they kind of shit the bed a little bit on some of it. That said, it's still pretty good. I don't like some of the stuff they did with Bullseye. I mean, Christine says, what's it, that old saying about how all stories have already been written? We're just rewriting the same old ones again. In a sense, it's true. There's nothing new under the sun, as they say. And most of the stories, it's true. But man, you got to try to put some distance between yourselves and some of the older stories. When it's on something like this, it would surprise me. Then again, didn't they say Disney Daredevil won't have Foggy or Karen? Yeah, but now they're having them. They said they weren't going to have Foggy or Karen. Now they're going to have Foggy and Karen. They brought them in because everyone knew that it was stupid not to have them. Yeah, there are only really 8 stories. Yeah. I see what you're saying, though, Christine. Absolutely, yeah. True. In a sense, it's true, yeah. Obviously, you good writers find good variations. But see, what they have been doing with Marvel, be it cinema or TV, even when MCU was good and decent and respectable, is they're still at some level, even in some of the good stuff, have unimaginative corporate jerks. To give you an example, I actually one of the few that actually likes the Avengers: Age of Ultron. I realize a lot of people don't like it, but I really like it. The point being, it didn't need to be named Age of Ultron. There was a comic book, an Avengers series called Age of Ultron before that, and it barely, if at all, resembles the story in the movie. They just took the name of it because it was a well-known miniseries, I guess, or event. It was an event, not a miniseries. Crossover, I guess. So, But it was nothing really, as I recall, anyway. Nothing really all that from the close to the story that they were using the title of. Oh, Christine, they copy a lot in Star Trek. They do. Even Real Trek copies from itself a lot. The later iterations copy all over the place. No question about it. Some are better than others. But and then it was like Winter Soldier was a little bit. Of course, I love the movie. But like I said, I liked Age of Ultron. Calling it Age of Ultron was just nothing. Winter Soldier, a little bit closer to the point because it did have the Winter Soldier in it. It had Bucky, and they gave some credit. Well, they didn't pay Ed Brubaker shit, but they let him. They paid him to do a walk on in the movie, and they credited him because they used some of his stuff, but it still wasn't all that close an adaptation by any stretch of the imagination. Civil War. And I like the movie. I don't like the comic at all. But point being, whether I like the comic or not, that's irrelevant. Aside from like one or two elements in basic plot from Civil War, it doesn't adapt much. But they use the title and it just doesn't mean any damn thing. So here they do it again with Born Again. It's like, look, hey, Wes Cagle, good to see you, my friend. Welcome. You're not really adapting Born Again. You just mined that comic for a lot of elements for your third season of your Netflix show. Why bother calling the next season Born Again, you idiots? And you don't even pay attention? Having the cast back might be the only good thing they'll do. Well, yeah, exactly. They don't understand the character, the lore, nor the mythology behind Matt Murdock, apart from him being male and blind. And the reason how you know this, Chris Persia, at least the reason why I think you're so right is because we're hearing about having to scrap a whole bunch of episodes and start over again. What are we to believe other than these idiots don't know what they're doing? It does seem to be a running theme that the younger writers don't do their research on storylines, plot arcs, and character development. True, Christine, absolutely is. Even actors from the series like DS9 don't know everything they think they know. That's true. Earlier, I heard one misquote Classic Trek, thought he had it right. Nope. Yeah. None of them are really hardcore fans of Classic Trek, of course. Hell, I love the episode Trials and Tribulations. Let's use this as an example, not to get away from comics that much. But Christine, I love the DS9 episode, the 30th anniversary episode called Trial and Tribulations. In the episode now, the writing, they made him a fundamental mistake. And you think somebody would have corrected him on the set. And it's the scene where Dax and Cisco are on board in the original Enterprise, and he said, saying, "Come on, don't you want to meet James Kirk, one of the most famous men in Starfleet history?" And he admits it. He says, "Of course, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to shake his hand and ask him about fighting the Gorn on Cestus 3. But that's not why we're here, old man." Now, technically, the only fight on Cestus 3 was when they were exchanging phaser grenades at each other. But the fight between the physical fight between Kirk and the Gorn took place on an unknown asteroid. They were put there by the Metrons. Am I being a ridiculous fanboy? Maybe. But you think somebody would know that on making the show. That's all I'm saying. Just don't, use a different analogy or whatever. So you're telling me that, of course, in Starfleet history, Cisco, who's reading about his hero Kirk in Starfleet history, goes, the fight on Cestus. Now, again, it involved Cestus 3. He could have said, I could have just talked about fighting the Gorn on that asteroid put there by the Metrons. in the Cestus 3 incident. Something like that would have sounded better and more like someone who knows what's history going on. So Cisco didn't know his history. Again, that's really, really pedantic, picky fanboy stuff, but I'm sorry, I'm a fanboy. Sue me, I'm a fanboy. Anyway, so yeah, the Daredevil Born Again crap. You don't even why I don't wasn't even near Cestus 3 fan. He was like way out there, remember? But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can make a technical case that they had a little fight on. They exchanged some phaser grenades, but like I said, these writers were. I don't think they were smart about it. Of course, they have to scrap a lot and rewrite scripts. How many times have we heard that they hire writers with no knowledge of the IP so they can make it for modern time? Well, that's absolutely, and that's another thing. Yes, look, they've proven it of the past few years. They've hired people that don't know the comics. I mean, that's Dave Endig and why when it comes to comic book adaptations. I'm not saying anything that groundbreaking here. We all know that. I mean, how many of these films, if you think about it, TV, either TV or film, comic book related, do you know of, Marvel, DC, or what have you, that have been made by someone, whether you like the movie or not, leave that aside for a second, by someone that you believe had their certified comic book bona fides. They actually read comics. They grew up, because they might even have long boxes in their basement. They might be guys who really, I'm going to try to name as many as I can. Joss Whedon, say what you want about him, dirtbag, all that stuff, read comics. As a kid, I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was his take on Spider-Man, for God's sake. I mean, and he, when he did the Avengers movie or even the Justice League, that's a guy that understands comic books, superhero comic books, I should say. Clearly. Again, whether you like him or not, he's a douchebag, but the Russo brothers seem to me to know comic books. I'll tell you who doesn't know comic books. Kevin Feige doesn't know anything about comics. Jon Favreau, I think, probably knew a little bit about comic books. I'm going to go out on a limb and give Favreau that credit. Robert Downey Jr. had the fundamental, I think he actually read some comic books. Henry Cavill is the things he's gotten involved in, and I hate Man of Steel. I hate Snyder, but he got into Superman when he got cast, and he is into a lot of IPs that he knows about and cares about. We all know the story with him, but there aren't too many guys like that running around. Christine said, well, the OG episode with the Gorn did describe the incident to a small extent, and maybe history being written by the victors made a big deal of DS9 era. I don't know. No, I mean, again, I'm kind of nitpicking. I admit it, Christine, but still, there were clear Starfleet records that say that the fight was on an asteroid. But anyway. Sam Raimi, good one. Gwagnar. Sam Raimi read comics. He was straight out. He has bona fides. I'll buy into Sam. Let me see if there's any other ones that are glaring that stand out. You go, yeah, that James Gunn. Say what you want about James Gunn. He knows comics. I mean, he was a big time comic book reader. Whatever else you might think of him, whether you like his movies or not, when you think he's a dirtbag, knows comics. There's absolutely no question about it. I mean, and for me to respect somebody's comic book knowledge, that's saying something, folks, because you know how I am. Again, I don't know. I've never heard the Russo brothers say it, but I get a vibe on of them that they knew some comics. And they were just, they were handcuffed by Feige. Feige ran there. I mean, they didn't really get a lot of say. Although James Gunn's here's another problem with James Gunn, not to switch it too far, but James Gunn scares the crap out of me. He trusts what's his face? Tom King, idiot. If you're going to have Tom King in the writer's room of the Superman movie, I can't have any faith in you. holy shit. And he's gonna adapt his stupid Supergirl story for a Supergirl movie. Like, again, nevertheless, that be that it may, is, Gunn does no comics. Now, how many people we've seen give interviews about characters that are directing a new movie about a comic character? They used to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I was really a big fan of the character." And by the way, they might have bought a comic book or two when they were a kid, but that doesn't make them an expert on the character. But who needs that? And it's like, again, and it seems pretty easy to me. You can find, like, Taiki Woke Kitty didn't know shit about comics, and he proved it. Ryan Reynolds, by the way, has read comics. Then there are some of these guys, when they would get a role, they would actually go study for the role and read the comics that they didn't know, that they hadn't read before. If I had written, I'd say when Kirk had to fight the Gorn. Yeah, you could have simplified it, streamlined it a little bit. Fighting the Gorn on Cestus 3. It sounded good. Hey, look, I love the episode. Nothing changes my love for the episode. I'm just pointing it out. Well, there was another screw up in the episode earlier on, and when one of the the temporal investigations guys, when the great scene at the beginning where he they said, when he tells them it's the Enterprise, they come back from the credits and he goes, "Be specific, Captain. Which Enterprise? There have been 5." He goes, 6. Anyway, he says NCC 1701. Constitution class or whatever. And they go, his ship, James T. Kirk. And proudly, Cisco says, the one and only. That was a cool scene. And then they said, the man was a menace. 17 separate violations, the biggest on file. Ace Cast Iron, what's up, bro? And speaking of that, I saw the guy who says episode this past weekend. He says hello. So, 17. In that episode at the beginning, the Temporal Investigations guys, the D69 says, I know we're doing comics tonight, sorry. But he says Kirk had 17 separate violations in the time of the temporal accords or whatever, the temporal codes, the temporal laws. And I'm like, wait a minute. I can even think of maybe 1 or 2 that at minimum that he's had. When did Kirk... All right, first of all, first time travel experience, tomorrow is yesterday. Actually, in a sense, the Naked Time, because the Naked Time was supposed to be a 2-parter with Tomorrow is Yesterday. They accidentally went back in time when they imploded the engines to escape the orbit of Psi 2000. And then it was supposed to continue where they ended up in the past on Earth. Keely Chow. What's up, buddy? But they changed that later. So anyway, later down the road, they end up because of an accident, they end up back in time, and tomorrow was yesterday. So if they're counting that as a violation, fine, that's 1. City on the Edge of Forever, if they're counting that, that's 2. If they're counting it. He did set things right, but it was his ship. He's responsible. 2, that's 2. For the rest of the series, you can't count Assignment Earth. You can't count Assignment Earth because he was ordered to go back in the past, which was kind of a dumb idea. You can't, I don't think you can count anything in All Our Yesterdays. So that's 2 on the whole series. You can't count the voyage home. He saved the Earth. I don't think they would count that. So what's this 17 business? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Just saying. And I love that episode, though. Yeah, but still, I was those are the only time travel episodes that I can think of, Christine. Let's see again. The slight accident with time travel, Naked Time. If you want to call that one, they only went back time a few minutes in that one. Tomorrow's Yesterday, it was an accident. and he set things straight. But if you want to count it, I'm giving you those two. And if you're gonna, I'll give you those one because the other one doesn't count. Sitting on the Edge of Forever, he did cause that. He fixed it. But if you're going to give him that one, fine. Then there's no other time travel episode but Assignment Earth. That can't count because they sent him back in time. But if you want to count it, that would give you 3. If you want to count the voyage home, you shouldn't be able to count the voyage home. He had to go back. He did make the decision on his own to do it, but he saved Earth. But if you want to count it, which I don't think they did, that'd be 4. Where are they getting 17? I mean, anyway. Unchronicled stories, I still wouldn't think there would be, that many unchronicled stories. But again, whatever. Let's go back to comics. I'm sorry. Get going on Trek, There are other 70 books and episodes not aired. Well, yeah, they're plenty. That's what I'm saying. I'm accounting for unchronicled stories. Okay, but I mean, they're OCD types that are counting all the little actions he took during his time travel, even stepping on a bug, not knowing it. They'd have to know about that, though. Oh, no. You're not your bad at all, Christine. You get me going on Star Trek, and I look, one of my favorite topics. So no, believe me, it's my fault. As the captain, I'm at fault for all conversation here. Now, let's see. Ravenscroft asked a question. Clobby, I got a question. What character is a fan favorite that you never cared for? Oh, that's a good question. All right, folks. Who's ready for this one? I'm going to get me in trouble. Let's see. Never cared for. Well, Ravenscroft, let me tell you. I can, first of all, I'm going to go in a category. A character that I really like, but I don't like as much as everybody else. I'm going to go somebody I'm not big on, but I like enough, just not as much as everybody else. Or maybe I would say overrated. And then I'm going to tell you one I can't stand that a lot of people like. That's a lot more obscure. Because I can't name any of the really big superheroes that I don't have a lot of care for. Wolverine is a character that is, personally, I like him fine, but I think he's ginormously overrated. That gets me in a lot of trouble, I realize. I think he was better when he was before he got too big for his britches, before he became a patch to put on every comic to sell it after taking Spider-Man's place for that in the 80s. He was great in the Claremont Cockrum Claremont Byrne issues of X-Men. He was great in the Claremont Miller Rubenstein 4-issue miniseries of Wolverine that we have reviewed here. I loved him in that. And then after that, Wolverine just became obnoxious to me. I like him. I don't hate him. But it's just out of control with the Wolverine shit. I mean, I'm all through the 80s, I was saying that. I mean, I was the one that was like, get on Wolverine. I mean, yeah, fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. Give him his own comic. I don't care. But, I mean, he ain't the big boss for me. I like Timberwolf better. But thank you for that one, though. RRTNZ, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, once after a long day of shooting, Shatner's wig was stolen from his trailer by a crazed fan in a lizard alien costume. Hair today, gone tomorrow. Wowzer. Well, RRTNZ, I thank you kindly for that one, and that's a good one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. You're too kind. D-Bud says, yep, kids loved Wolverine, but I didn't think he was that great. Yeah, I mean, he was when I think that story, Wolverine alone, is still great. And I think that's what sold him. It was an issue. He was okay before that. And then hey, Joe Dog, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. That Wolverine alone issue, was pretty cool when he was at the bottom of the Hellfire Club. And that made everyone stand up and take notice of Wolverine. And then what was happening at that time is Marvel said, let's give one of the X-Men their own comic, and they couldn't decide who to give it to. And then they kind of got together with Claremont and Frank Miller at a con at San Diego Comic-Con, and they said, they just said, well, how about Wolverine? He's popular because of some of the stuff going on now. And I understand why they did it. That miniseries was really good. I like him. But man, he got out of control. And look, popular's popular. What do I know? Now, I'm going to give you one that I can't stand that people seem to like a lot. Ravenscroft, thank you, buddy. Are you ready for the one that? Because like I said, I don't hate Wolverine, but I think he's overrated. I want to talk about that. RTZ says, I think it was Frank Miller's Wolverine series that really elevated the character. He also world's toughest Canadian. Yeah, see, the thing is, the shop I was running at the time in 1982 when that series came out, we were so excited about that because Frank Miller was just a big thing at that point. He was huge coming out. He was, coming off of his Daredevil run, and we were really excited. And we thought, wow. And I was no better than different than anyone else. I thought, wow, Wolverine's own title? Oh my God, even though it's only a miniseries. You could be right, Brian Hepburn. You know me. So we love the Miller one. So yeah, we were all excited. We had shop shirts made with the Miller one, with the Miller first issue. It's a great comic, and I love it. But yes, a character that is popular. He's not Wolverine level popular, but he's popular with X-Men fans. And I'm not much of a, full disclosure, but I'm not much of an X-Men guy. I mean, I like him fine, but like Brian Hepburn nailed it. Gambit. I fracking hate Gambit. I hate everything up. Oh, I got a buddy of mine. Gambit's his favorite character. I'm like, are you crazy? But fine if you like Gambit. By the way, don't lose anything over it. It's just me. I hate everything about him. That phony, stupid Cajun accent. His dumb power. His dumb gimmick for his power. I mean, I guess electrifying things is one thing, but electrifying objects is kind of cool. But doing it with the playing cards and the I don't know. I don't like him. Never could stand his stupid look with his spiky hair and his stupid trench coat and everything. And I really hated him on the X-Men cartoon. About last year, so I re-binged that Fox X-Men cartoon because it had occurred to me that when that started coming on in the 90s, that's right, a Cajun from New Orleans, yeah, he was dumb. I hate, yeah, there you go. I'm a Cajun X-Men, baby, and I'll be throwing my cards at you. Anyway, Larry, what's up, buddy? So they put him at that point. I was not, when that X-Men cartoon came on in the 90s. I was not buying the X-Men at that point. I'd already left it a long time ago. I know that was around the time when X-Men was at the height of its popularity or resurgence of its popularity, with the Jim Lee X-Men 1 and all that kind of stuff. Fine. But I hated the lineup. I liked the cartoon, okay? Like I said, I binge watched it recently because back when it originally came on, I got to see it hit and miss because it was on Saturday mornings and I was working or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Not one human sounds like they like that. Like they're okay, Nola except Steamroll. Hey man, said you saying he sounds like Gambit, man? Hey man. So excuse me, Mr. Pedantic Fanty. He doesn't electrify the cards. He loads them with kinetic energy. Okay. Oh my God. Excuse me, Fanty. I'm sorry, dude. You've earned it. You have earned. Where are you? Why are you not here? God damn Fanty?
Your agonizer, please.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Oh, Fanty. But also, Fanty, I owe you this one too.
I have had enough of you!
Oh dear. The great Mark D with a C, everybody. We all owe him so much. So Clobberin, the cartoon villains I can't stand it. Oh wow. JT Kurt, what's up, bud? I didn't see you pop in. Congrats to your Lions, buddy. I want your Lions to go win in Frisco, man. I'm tired of the 49ers. I'm really sick of the Chiefs. And I don't want the Ravens. Ugh, God, but I'd rather the Ravens than the Chiefs at least. And I'm mad at the Bills, you wide writers, you. I don't even care that much, but I just didn't want no damn Chiefs. And please. And I don't want the 49ers in there to play. It's a rematch. If the 49ers get in there, it's a rematch of either Super Bowl. Go Lions. I love your Lions, man. I want them to take care of Bizwax this week. Get rid of those stupid blue pants, though. Go back to the silver pants. They look better. The gray pants, whatever you want to call them. Silver pants. And with the blue jerseys, perfect. The old uniform, the classic uniform. Get rid of those dumb blue pants and go beat. Well, you'll be in white jerseys this week. Go beat Frisco's stupid ass and save us from another Frisco Ravens or Frisco KC Pooper Bowl. Go get them, man. Go Lions. I'm on the Lions bandwagon, buddy. You said it. I should hate Jared Goff, but it's not really his fault what happened to us a few years ago. So I want to see him do it, man. Do it all. Go Lions, man. Joe Dog says the NFL is scripted. Well, they're really bad writers then. Just Joe. About the X-Men cartoon, it's a shame that two of the voice casts podcasts we don't have passed away. Oh, yeah. Good to see you, Joe Jobber. Good to see you, bro. Wear gray pants, not white poo-poo pee-pee sweatpants. Yeah, don't wear the white ones. Well, they were wearing blue ones the other day. Uniforms is kind of a big deal with me, JT Kirk. Some teams, and I've always thought the Lions had really cool uniforms. They're normal ones. You know, when they're on the road, white with the silver pants, or when they're at home, the blue jersey with the silver pants and stuff. But pants notwithstanding, go beat the pants off. Since you're 69ers, their pants will be off anyway. Go bang their asses. I'm rooting for you. But I'm sorry, everybody, for the sports balling. So, and by the way, wide right again, Bills fans, wide right again, really? Why? For God's sake, why? I got you. Some of them are pretty cool, but I wasn't happy with the weird attempt to bring the Oregon Ducks with their Nike. Yeah, Oregon Ducks they're weird. Boy, they're weird with their uniforms. So, yeah, that X-Men cartoon. That's right. That's right, Jobber. I didn't know that. Wait a minute. The guy Cyclops passed away. Oh. See the. By the way, the roster of that cartoon aggravated me. Bring their asses off, like Carl Tupper voice there. Sorry, you. Kay Roberts, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. So yeah, Muhammad Saeed said, "Hey, that's the for number 23 is fun." Oh yeah, I haven't read that in quite some long time. All right, Fanty. I will when I get a chance, I will go. Maybe I can find it. Huh. That link's not working. Weird. That link's not working. Let's see. There it is. Okay. 70s were awkward for Superman. I'm going to have to check this out and mess with it later. Thanks for the link, Fanty. I'm going to save it. Appreciate it. I'll save that, bookmark it for later. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. Okay, let me see what else everybody's saying. I'm also never a big Silver Surfer fan, says Ravenscroft, but I know many love him. Yeah, I got to say I love the Silver Surfer. I do. I mean, or as some used to refer to him, the Cosmic Crybaby. Joe said, I didn't mind the X-Men lineup. A 90s X-Men lineup, I'll take it. Enix used to get 3 hot chicks, Rogue, Jean Grey, and Storm or there. Oh, they were great. Yeah. I just didn't like Jubilee and Gambit. I think, and here's the thing. Not only do I hate Linrod, hey, good to see you, buddy. Not only do I hate Jubilee and Gambit, that kept us from having I wanted Nightcrawler and Colossus. To hell with Gambit. And Jubilee. And if you're gonna have the little girl, I mean, we already had female, like you said, you had female characters. I would rather Kitty Pryde than Jubilee. I know what was going on in the comics at the time, but it's the theme song is great. So I watched I binged throughout the cartoon, and man, that last season was terrible. They really had some subpar animation, but they went to a cut rate animation company or something. It was really rotten. But then so was the Spider-Man cartoon. They went cheap on that too. And they had a lot of really stupid stuff on that Spider-Man cartoon. If you left Shalabal behind, I'd be crying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Indeed. The Pride of the X-Men lineup was way better. Way better. Yeah, freaking Gambit. Oh. Yeah, but I guess somebody liked Gambit. I suppose. Wasn't Marvel near bankruptcy in the mid 90s? They had to go cheap, but yes, they were. They were very near bankruptcy. Ron Perlman, no, not the actor, a different one, Revlon or whatever, owned Marvel, I believe, at some point. Marvel changed hands a bunch of times after Martin Goodman. The X-Men extended stories after the Goblin Queen in the early 90s comics carried longer than the East and West Coast Avengers episodic tales. The late 90s cartoon X-Men couldn't keep up. Well, yeah, that's a good part. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's still fun to watch and everything, but I mean, some of them were okay. They had some weird ones. I think that the one with Wolverine and Captain America was pretty cool in one of the later seasons. But man, by the way, that that Spider-Man cartoon on Fox of the 90s, the way Captain America was on that one was a disgrace. I mean, I'm talking some punchable face level disgrace right there. What they did to Cap. Oh my God. Does anyone remember that? It was so bad. It was horrific. And I like that cartoon sometimes, but man, that last couple of seasons, Jesus Christ. Man. Oh. Once the X-Men got Lobdell and Niciena, basically everybody before Morrison, I just didn't care. Yeah, I couldn't stand Lobdell. I was pretty much gone anyway, but everybody I knew didn't like him. And when I would read his stuff, I didn't like him. Nicieza sucks. I can't stand Fabian Nicieza, Sissy, whatever his stupid name is. The Morrison one was weird. See, isn't Morrison that gave us the stupid kitty cat beast? God, I hate the kitty cat beast. Hate him. Agreed, Fanty. He says, I wish they'd do a an X-Men cartoon from Kirby to Neil Adams, then the Giant one. And they could, we have the technology now, they could adapt those things and do them well. Yeah, Kitty Cat Beast was awful. Oh, God, man. Let's see. Wolverine and Cap in their WW2 crossover comic, keeping Germany from uniting with. Yeah, that was a good one on X-Men. Oliver Belamonte. What's up? Oliver says, former Lex Luthor actor Jesse Eisenberg, that's debatable, has one advice to Nicholas Hoult on playing Lex Luthor. I wouldn't listen to anything that guy says. But in Superman Legacy, and that is don't watch the Lex in Batman versus Superman. Oh, now I take it back. It's pretty smart. Jesse Eisenberg, I salute you. I mean, that's good. Don't watch the stupid Facebook Luthor. He's right. I hate to say it. Jesse Eisenberg. Yep. Effing hate Kitty Cat Beast. Right there with you, buddy. Jesse Eisenberg. Good night, Penny. Thank you for being here, my dear. Hope you have a wonderful night. Always lovely to see you, my dear. All right. I hate BVS. Bull versus Shite is a piece of garbage to me anyway. You know, Hack Snyder, you know how I am. But the Facebook Luthor, as I call him, and that is so terrible. I mean, how can you even take the movie seriously in any way? Well, I can't. So. And for that guy, and I like Jesse Eisenberg and other stuff. And now I have, if he's serious, Oliver, thank you for that. I have a lot of respect for him. Because that's not Luthor. You should go. I mean, if you're going to base him, I'd rather you base him on Gene Hackman. And I'm kind of kidding about that. But, you know, that would be better than this. Sherman Howard's my Luthor, and no one even remembers him. For the 1 millionth time, 90s TAS Spidey was the leader and not Captain America because Madam Web wanted to test Spidey to see if he could be leader. Oh, I'm not talking about that, Joe. As dumb as that still is, I'm not talking about that. What they did to Captain America's origin for the 1 millionth time, Joe, is they had this bullshit before the Secret Wars thing where Captain America didn't fall into the ice and was frozen and woke and resurrected later. He went into it in the 40s. He went into with the Red Skull into another dimension and was fighting with him in there for a long time, and then emerged back in the 90s, totally screwing his origin. So while I still think it was stupid about Spidey being the boss and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter because that comic was stupid. That cartoon was stupid anyway. But I know what you're talking about because I bitched about that. But that's not what I'm talking about here, dude. That cartoon was idiotic for what they did to Captain America's origin. It was moronic beyond belief. Anyway, I still love you, Jabber. For the millionth time, I still love you. Fanty Outside, he says, you remember the old 1966 Marvel superhero cartoon where chopped up the wedding of Reed and Sue without wedding? I'd like to see the wedding as animated. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Did you see the children of Chris Reeve are putting out a documentary on their parents? I might actually seek that out. Oh, no, I did not see that, Ravenscroft. Thank you. I'm coughing. I remember Sherman Howard, long live Superboy. Yeah, Sherman Howard was great on the Superboy cartoon. Great Luthor. And they kept struggling to put Cap into love triangles like Diamondback. Did they? Wow. Yeah, but I also understand what you're saying, buddy, Jobber. I'm just saying, I guess you're right. I go overboard with bitching about what they did with Spidey and Cap, and now making Spidey the boss. You are right about that, but you remember, I'm prejudiced because I can't stand Secret Wars. So you're right. You're fair enough. I mean, I can see your point as well. Hey, Courtney. Good to see you, Courtney. Hope you're doing well. Be careful out there. But Ravenscroft says I did like Grunwald's Cap. Felt like he really loved the character. He didn't always have good art though. Oh boy, did he not? Oh man, you're so right. Well, you know what? Let's be fair about something, Ravenscroft. That almost that entire era at Marvel, early '80s up until the '90s, didn't have a lot of good artists because most of them were at DC or doing their own things independently. I'm sorry. I mean, look, as a young adult at the time who was really becoming more particular about comic book art, there were a lot of titles I dropped, at Marvel and DC, but especially Marvel, because they had really shitty art. Really shitty. On all the mainstream books, first of all, I know Byrne did FF for a while, but his inking himself, he was terrible. But compared to the other people, he was still better than them. It's a shame we never got Mystique-led X-Force translated to cartoons. Well, yeah. No, the HBF, Hanna-Barbera FF cartoon was 1967. MSH was 66. Marvel Superheroes is right. So it did beat it. Did someone say it didn't? I may have missed that. Deba, did somebody say the other way around? Because I wasn't really. If I saw it, I didn't pay attention, or I missed it because maybe my attention span. Romita Jr. and Mazzucchelli. That was about it for good Marvel art then. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't big on Romita Jr., but later he got worse, I think. But when Bob Layton inked him, it was great, and Mazzucchelli was great, but he really didn't. I mean, he did some stuff, but he didn't really do a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean. Perez was gone. Byrne eventually left. Came back later, but he left for a while. Yeah. It was regarding the first cartoon appearance of Doctor Doom. I got you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Yep. The Marvel superheroes are Yep. The Merry Marvel Marching Society. Were you a member of the Merry Marvel Marching Society, D. Bud Martin? You can tell me. We won't tell on you here. Well, yeah, it was Walt Simonson. I mean, you're right. It's not that there was nobody, but man, oh man, Simonson was doing some stuff. That's true. You like Paul Ryan, Ravenscroft? See, I didn't. Paul Ryan, I think, was maybe better than Paul Neary, but so, I'm not. Look, I've gotten to a point where unless I really hate their work, because I think they're absolutely horrible, I don't beat up on artists like I used to because I can't draw flies, and these guys were trying to make a living. JT Kirk says, the congressman, what's that in reference to? Rumors are saying that, says Oliver Belamonte, that Marvel executives are in talks with actor Ryan Gosling on his possible chance to play Marvel's Cosmic Guardian Nova. So they're going to have older Rich Rider, I guess, if he's going to be Rich Rider. Oh, Congressman Paul Ryan. Oh, I got you. No, not that one. Unless he was a comic book artist in the 80s. Oh, Clobberin, I was thinking about a real horror from that time, Eric Larson. I can't stand him. But he was mostly the 90s, wasn't he? I guess he did. Maybe he did some stuff in the 80s. I'll be honest with you. Again, you want an unpopular take. I didn't like McFarlane. Never liked McFarlane stuff. I didn't like his 80s stuff on Infinity Inc. was really rough. And his Batman, he did the end of Batman Year 2, which I did not like, personally. And I didn't like his Spider-Man like everyone did, and his Hulk and his Spawn, all that stuff. But people love, look, that's fine. I never could get into him. I think he was always McFarlane always struck me as trying to do sort of a strange hybrid between P. Craig Russell and Michael Kaluta, and couldn't get either one of them correct. I mean, but in terms of the weird, his style was, I think he was trying to be like those guys, but it may have been accidental. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, but he was not in a class with either of those brilliant artists. But what do I know? No character is overpowered, says RTNZ. Just badly written. Superman and Thor wrote extremely powerful heroes, but skilled writers find ways to challenge them and have been doing so for decades. True dat. Takes a very yep, and agreed. And yes, Ravenscroft, it does take a very special writer. Ravenscroft says McFarlane was so specialized, no humanity in his art, all poster material. Very good point. He was a garbage storyteller in terms of sequential art, cartooning, in my opinion. Kay Roberts says, given the size of the Marvel and DC studios today, could they not simply produce apps for kids to download all their old comics being narrated by guest voice actors? Just read and rope a new market. Could they? They could, I guess. I don't know how many kids are even interested in comics anymore. They like video games, but I hear you. Patty said, I never understood McFarlane. Web fluid costs money. Spidey is always short on money. McFarlane used web fluid like it was drawn on trees. He did. Well, he wasted some web fluid, didn't he? He should have just screwed with his origin and made webs come out of his face and shit. Which is stupid, but And I'll address, for no particular reason, Sam Raimi and his organic web shooters. I know. I don't want to hear about Spider-Man 2099. But I hated him, but I put up with the movies. I thought the movies were okay. But it's just, if Steve Ditko, in Amazing Fantasy 15, had worked it into the origin that Spider-Man could shoot webs out of his nutsack, I would have been fine with it because he's the creation of the character. Okay, I'm kidding. You know what I mean, though. Seriously, shooting him out of his hands. If that was originally in the comic, I would be fine with it. Never had it. No one would have. I don't think anyone would have cared. They'd been like, it's a silly superhero comic, whatever. For some reason, he and Kirby, because Kirby had did some initial ideas on Spider-Man. He came up with the original idea on it. But I don't know if he had. I think he did use mechanical devices in some of his early drafts. But we're just going to go with Ditko, because he's really the main creative force behind Spider-Man. If Ditko had said, Ditko just for some reason decided it would be a mechanical device and he would make his web fluid. Maybe was it intentional to show the inventiveness and the intelligence and smarts of Peter Parker? Could be. And that's lovely. It's great. It's fine. It always was kind of interesting how he'd run out of web sometimes to get in trouble. He'd make sure he had his web fluid. Along comes Sam Raimi. It decides to give him those organic web shooters. And I like his first movie, and I really liked the second one. Third one I hate. I think it's a piece of drivel filth. But it's fine. And whatever. But obviously my preference are the web shooters. Let's see here. Joe Dog says, coming out I hated the Purple Man as well. Worst Daredevil villain. Well, as a Daredevil fan, I guess I can't really go along with it. I really like the Purple Man, but I understand. I thought as mostly boring as that show Jessica Jones was the first season, David Tennant as Kilgrave, who should have been called the Purple Man. But David Tennant is, for all intents and purposes, the Purple Man was really great on that. Otherwise, forgettable show. He was brilliant. Also, I might add, Brent Spiner voiced him on Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and in a very good episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes called Emperor Stark. So I've always liked the Purple Man, actually, but he's a Daredevil villain. But I got you, Joe Dog. And Joe Dog's a big fan of the Defenders. I'm going to get back to reviewing Defenders soon. I'm way behind. RTNZ said, John Byrne, Mark Waid, Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Jeff Johns, Kurt Busiek, Mark Millard, Dan Jurgens for starters, and the list goes on and on. So not as rare as you might think. I hear you. Good old Kurt Busiek is underrated. He's written some of the greatest comics ever. I'd say those are all special writers. But yeah, I mean, look, they're good writers. In an era where the comic book writer was more, was actually a writer. I mean, there was the longest time when there weren't really so many writers as artists doing their own work and stuff, so writing and things. I've been doing a lot of deep dive studies over the past year to a couple years about comic book writing and the origins of it and things that went on in the Marvel Method days at Marvel, the early, pre-Marvel, the Atlas stuff, and Marvel in general, and Marvel later. And it's really changing my perspective on a lot of different comic book writers. Not so much the guys you were just mentioning, really, but the old school ones. And been learning a lot, put it like that, because they're now that time is going by and fewer of those people are there to cover up some of their stories. Man, they're still on. You would not believe, and I won't go into it here that much because it's dense and it's a lot of inside baseball type stuff that a lot of people don't care about. I do. I'm a huge fan of comic book history and reading about all the things that happen behind the scenes and things that are being uncovered, things that I'd never even heard about. I've been studying, for example, I've been studying Jack Kirby since the mid 80s, about, when I started learning about his story, what happened to him. I'm no comic book scholar by any stretch of the imagination. And yes, there is such a thing, according to them anyway, I guess, I don't know, but I know it's funny that there's such a thing, but there are. And I would never even hope to ever be one. But I read a lot of what they talk about and what they unearth and others and people who were there in some cases. And some of the things I'm learning about comic book history over the past year. So, like I say, you wouldn't believe it. And I would don't get me wrong, I would like to go into a lot of it here, but because I'm just reading about it in various places, and I could eventually give you an idea where I'm getting a lot of this from. But it's still reading about it. And it's not, you weren't there. I wasn't there. So it wouldn't be right to sit there and just, when I say, for example, so-and-so created this and so-and-so stole the credit for this, it's obviously an opinion because I wasn't there. And I always make sure that I'm saying, well, this is what I believe. The words believe. I wasn't there, but based on a lot of things I'm reading said by others, and some of which would get me in trouble because you're quoting people without any kind of knowing the facts for sure. Nevertheless, some of the stuff really makes sense. Some of the stuff really rings true, but I don't have a time machine, so I do have to. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I guess it's probably not exactly like reading history books about World War II, for example, or any historic era, whatever it may be. And maybe it's similar to that in some ways, but the comic book business is a bit more closed off than that. For example, you'd be fascinated if you knew some of the things I've been learning about the great comic book original art heist of 1969 that no one even knows about. And I actually am friends with some people that wouldn't like me talking about it, and I won't. But I'm just saying, I won't really go into it in depth here. But the thing is, some of the things I've been learning about this stuff that I did not know before. In some cases, about people that I was a fan of, is really, disturbing. And a lot of this is probably inside baseball stuff to a lot of people in the industry. And a lot of the people saying this stuff aren't popular with a lot of other people. And there's still some people that can get you in trouble for it. So I steer clear of some of it. I'm just telling you that there's so much yet uncovered about comic book history. And when I say, I actually mean recent comic book history. By recent, I mean 60 years. By recent, I mean Marvel and some DC actually too. Because I have a lot of books about it as well. I've been like Tomorrow does a lot of great books. Tomorrow's about comic history. And it's just amazing, some of the stuff but I wouldn't feel uncomfortable just saying it. I mean, comfortable. And yeah, look, I know I don't have a big audience or anything. It was the kind of thing I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable about just spewing it out there because, believe it or not, some of it would make people mad at me. Not necessarily you all, but I have to say that sometimes it's tough keeping it bottled up. Reading about it's just amazing and eye opening. And the bottom line is what's believable and what isn't. And a lot of it is believable. And the stuff that's believable is, man, if this is true, holy shit. And it's the kind of thing that wouldn't be out until certain people had already passed away and have. So it's pretty amazing stuff. Ravenscroft said, I'll get back to the conversation because really a lot of it's stuff it would take. So, I mean, it would take 4 hours to lay it all out. But I'm just letting you know, that's kind of when I should be doing important things in the world. I've been spending a lot of time doing that stuff. Looking into that. And there are places, that's hard to explain. Ravenscroft says, getting back to Daredevil for a sec, did you like the Wade run? I know you're not a huge fan, but I'm not, and not either, but I thought issues were pretty darn good. I like a lot of Mark Wade's writing. I think I'm not a fan of him as a person because he's a total D-bag in a lot of the things he does. But I've liked a lot of his work. I read a big chunk of his early run on it, and I didn't really get into it too much. Personally, I was not big on the Wade run, so I kind of stopped. I fell off of it. So, but I know that you were not alone. A lot of people did like it. So, you're not alone in saying that. A lot of people did like the Wade run, which, from what I understand, went on for quite a bit. So, yeah. I didn't care much for it. I stopped after a little while because basically, for those who don't know, I mean, at this point, Daredevil to me had been ruined. Joe Dog hated it. Then we have a vote for hated it. To me, Daredevil kind of been ruined because everybody knew his secret identity. Miller kind of started that crap, really, but R says not sure. Alan Moore has always had a strange moral outlook, yeah, but could write both good, evil, and moral complex characters. So look, he was a brilliant writer. At times, he's written some brilliant things. He is a nutty. And he's always been kind of flaky, but lately he says the nuttiest things. He's absolutely bonkers. But he's written some great stuff. His supreme run in the 90s was Return Superman to Glory. Superman's wearing a different colors with a different name, but it was Superman. It was him giving us a kind of a dalliance with Silver and Bronze Age Superman with some twists in it, were 90s type twists. And it was just brilliant. It was wonderful. And I really enjoyed it for a long time. And in a sense, he gave me the Superman I kind of wanted to see. But he's crazy. Crazy as a bed bug. I just thought he captured the fun and determination of Matt and put him in situations that were very hard to get out of, says Ravenscroft about the Wade run. I hear you. A lot of people liked it. Like I said, I understand. A lot of people liked it. Oliver Belamonte says, I have no faith in Kevin Smith. No, smart. As he tries to persuade us in watching Netflix's Master of the Universe Revolution on January 25th, even though he gave William Shatner a guest voice role. Well, yes, that was a debacle a couple of years back when he lied his ass off about He-Man to He-Man fans and then pulled a bait and switch on you guys who love the characters and really made an absolutely disgusting turd of a show. I remember that. I watched it in solidarity with my friends because I never was a He-Man fan. I watched that first episode and I could see why it would piss you off. Way back when that came on, I won't be watching it. And you, Oliver, are correct, sir, not to have any faith in that D-bag. Kevin Smith is a butthole. He's a piece of crap. Screw him. Let me tell you something. I always feel completely and utterly in the wilderness on this one. Because many of my friends who are mad at him now were fans. I have never, since day one, I could not stand Kevin Smith. I've never been a fan of Kevin Smith. I'm not just talking about his shitty comic writing that's overrated either. His whole dude bro persona, way he talks, man. Yeah. I don't like the dude bro. Don't get me wrong. in real life circumstances, a dude broke me, a nice person, and I could get along with him and cut and yuck it up with him, and I don't hate anybody. But that whole stupid persona that he puts out there that so many young people thought that's cool, that's the guy to be like, it's hip, it's cool. The old Kevin Smith dude bro persona that was out there. Hey, man, let's go smoke some pot and be like Kevin Smith. I couldn't stand it. It was big in the 90s, and eventually he became a Hollywood shill sellout, which makes me laugh, actually. He was a moron that, yes, he owned a comic shop and yet said really stupid shit about comics sometimes. This is how, even before he did unbelievably cringy things like cry at The Last Jedi. Yeah, you should cry at The Last Jedi, but not the way you did, idiot. Crying about everything. I can't stand that sumbitch. Never liked him. He's the worst. I have no faith in any current creator to do these classic characters justice on film, says Ravenscroft. They just don't seem to be able to understand their essential appeal. Agreed 100%, buddy. I like this first few movies of the Clark variety, says a Fanty. I think I probably saw, someone made me watch Clerks and that was all right, but I just can't stand him. The only sweat I had in The Last Jedi was during the fit of rage. Same here. Ravenscroft, on that we agree. I'm terrified of James Gunn's Superman, says R. Yeah, talking of that, James Gunn's Superman, I don't think you could be worse than Snyder. I really do. So even if it sucks, and it'd be like, again, a day ending in why? A Superman movie that sucks. Oh, that's a shocker. Casting seems to be okay. That guy looks like he might be okay. There was a rumor by one of the young ladies who tested for the part of Lois Lane that didn't get the part, saying that the script she tested with, she saved Superman's life. Well, this is 2024, so she probably will be saving his ass all over the place. Probably get used to that. I don't know for sure. Gunn, like I said, as I said earlier, he knows comics. That doesn't mean he's going to get it right, though. He's bringing Tom King in. If Tom King has his hands anywhere in a Superman movie, yeah, you shouldn't have any faith. I'll watch the thing. I'll sit through any crap. I'll go watch the crap. I mean, if I walked into the theater and watched Man of Steel and Bits versus Shit, Bull versus Shit, then I don't watch anything. I mean, it's nothing I won't, debase and defile myself with, I guess. So, as Doc Holly said, I have not yet begun to defile myself. Yeah, so Tom King, yeah. Just don't watch it or don't watch it, but don't go in with, if you go in without the expectations, you're fine. I mean, look, all right, James Gunn, hey, Agent Smith, hello there. That's Agent Smith. It's nice to meet you. I haven't seen you here before, but I thoroughly agree. If you can sit through Eraserhead and not try to erase your own head, you can sit through anything. And I have sat through Eraserhead. And I sat, and other times I tried to run and turn around and but I would rather sit through Eraserhead 20 times than read anything by Tom King. But yeah. Well, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Agent Smith. So, Gunn, I mean, let's look at what he's done comic book wise. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies, while fun, aren't that faithful to the comics. Even the that comic he's adapting, the later, 2008 version of the team, which again is not really the Guardians of the Galaxy I give two shits about. So, but they're okay. They're really, I mean, they are. I got a good buddy of mine who's a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, including that one with the group that Gunn uses or mostly uses for his movies. And his point is, and he's correct, is that Star-Lord in the comic, like I said, Star-Lord in the comic is like a no-nonsense space cop. In the freaking James Gunn movies, he's a horny man-child. And that's, yeah. Chris Persia, have a great night, buddy. Thank you for being here, man. The great Chris Persia, everybody, the Vindicator Ridge of the Great White North. So, Guns, but I like the first movie. It's fun enough. It's not really, it's just cute. Second one's kind of some cool scenes in it. It's okay. I don't really like what they did to Ego. I love Kurt Russell, but I'm not really thrilled the way they did Ego, personally. And the third movie, I don't hate it. A lot of people hate it. I thought it was okay. So, and then he participated in the writing on Infinity War, maybe even Endgame, I think, a little bit. But so again, that wasn't really his movie though. So I watched the Suicide Squad that he did. Just I don't know. One-time movie. It was kind of okay, but I never need to watch it again. I didn't really like it that much. I don't like what he did to Peacemaker in that. But because I don't learn my lesson very well, I watched the Peacemaker TV show. It was funny, I admit that. Peacemaker was the kind of show that every time I would watch it, I'd need like 3 showers afterwards. I would need to take a shower, man. I'd be like, I don't know. It was amusing. It was sick. Stupid. Lemon Pie, what's up? It was disturbing and idiotic, but it was funny. Man, it was all right. I didn't mind it. And Joe Dog hated it. Well, look. Hey, believe I don't blame you for hating it. I mean, I laughed at it because I don't. It's DCU. That they're all so lost anyway. I didn't take it seriously, but I can't blame you at all, Joe Dog. It's hateable. It just didn't bug me. I guess I just laughed at it, but after like a couple of episodes, just got sick of it. I watched it all and I'm just, I'm with you. I laughed at some of it, but I understand. I can't say I like it. Not particularly. Wow. Is that true, Agent? Man, he said the 60s Charlton Peacemaker issues dropped like the lead balloon. Wow, usually key issues go up. Yeah. RRTNZ says, I've met Nicholas Hoult. This guy playing Luthor, by the way. Nice guy. He's got the range for Luthor. Don't know the guy playing Kal-El. Gunn excels at quirky weirdos, not heroes. He's wrong for the job. I'd love to be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I hope he proves us wrong. A lot of people are a little annoyed by all the cameos they keep announcing, but yeah, they're kind of weird. Oliver says, Clobby, what do you think of the legacy of DCU now? It's finally done as it ends with Aquaman 2. Good question. I actually did see Aquaman 2. It was just sort of a movie that exists that's mostly inoffensive, just sort of, again, there was mildly, while you're sitting there, it's mildly entertaining, and we walk out of the theater and you go, if you didn't eat popcorn and if you weren't getting if I wasn't getting a big refill of my popcorn and my cherry Coke, I probably would have forgot what I was doing. I brought that home. So that reminded me, I've been to a movie theater and the movie must have been playing. It was all right. I mean, it's okay. Like the first movie, I just don't like Momo's not Aquaman. Patrick Wilson's would have been better, but he had to play Orm because Zack Snyder's a moron. He can't cast anything. I'll give him credit for casting Henry Cavill, but he cast like shit. So, he said, what do I think? The legacy of the DCU is a fart in the wind, in my opinion. Oliver, it will go down as just a bunch of movies that had a slight niche audience. The Snyder fans, and who like that. That's fine if they like it. Will stand by the bigger movies of that franchise, and they don't like a lot of them. There's not one of those movies. And let me see, how many of those movies are there? Not one of them. I'll look at a list of them right now to give you an example. Psst, where are you at? Okay. There it is. All right. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 movies. There are 37 or something like Marvel MCU/MCU movies, right? So the MCU, the DCEU that you're asking about there, Oliver, I believe is something like 17 or 18 movies, give or take. Now, the MCU, if you'd stopped at Endgame, you find a lot of good movies that people will go, they're standout, people will remember and watch over and over again. It's not that there aren't fans of some of these movies, too. Man of Steel, Bitch versus Shite, Justice League, Snyder Butt, Aquaman 1, Aquaman 2, Shazbot 1, Shazbot 2, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Wonder Woman 84, audience nothing, The Flash, Blue Beetle. Am I missing one? Oh, yeah, Birds of Prey. I didn't even see that one. There's not one of those movies. I mean, they're fans of everything, right? Not one of those movies that anybody would pick out of a list of 500 that anyone gives a shit, even if they liked it, even if they thought it was okay. Your hardcore Snyder people will lie to themselves, and they'll love Man of Steel and Bitch versus Shit and the Snyder Butt, but that's about it. There's not one. There are barely any watchable of these movies. I'm not even putting them in order. I'm just going to go back on the list. Blue Beetle sucked. The Flash sucked. Wonder Woman 84 was unbelievably bad. Wonder Woman was a mildly watchable, okay movie for some people that fell apart in the end, in my opinion. Black Adam sucks. The Suicide Squad sucked. Suicide Squad sucked. Shazam 2 and 1, for my opinion, suck. Aquaman 1 and 2 are just sort of watchable, mildly passable entertainment that are really not that good. I hate the Snyder Butt, personally. I hate Justice League is a messed up movie because it had he inherited it from Snyder. It's not that great. Bitch versus Shit sucked donkeys. And Man of Steel sucked, one of the worst pieces of garbage ever. All those are just one man's opinion, of course. But what does it tell you? It tells you like there's nothing real. The legacy is like it's a part in a win. I'm sorry. I think they'd use that term again. Christine, thank you. She says I have to go before my cats write a tale about an owner neglecting to give them treats. Thanks for the chat. Oh, well, thank you. Live long and prosper, Christine. Lovely to have you here. Have a wonderful night, my dear. RRT and Z said, Clobby, I loved Man of Steel, but admit it's flawed, but hated Bitch versus Shite. Snyder's Justice League is okay. And here's my point. I can't imagine anyone loving Man of Steel, but you're my friend, R, so I respect you. So that's like one movie out of a bunch that are the ones I named that you love. And that's my point. Very few people give a toss about many of those movies on that list. Some will like some of them, like you do. And some will say some of them are modest or okay. But you just won't get anybody turning backflips about how great they are. And again, point is, a lot of people are saying, well, I kind of like this part here. Like, this is kind of a good example. Fanty's saying, I did like some of the scenes in Shazam 1, but the movie changed tone like crazy with the sins murdering all these people. I want whatever. I should have been away with fun movie. Anyway, should have been fun. Point being is, none of them have any kind of real serious. Their legacy is going to be zero. They're going to be nothing movies that people largely don't care about. Not that there's almost no movie ever that doesn't have somebody that cares about it, thinks it's wondrous and buys it and all that stuff. But for the most part, not big. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Hey, Brian Hepburn, what's up, buddy? In case I missed you earlier, I didn't see you pop in there. Have you watched A Clockwork Orange, says Joe Dog? I have. And I wasn't even forced to watch it. Get it. You know, I haven't watched A Clockwork Orange Clockwork Orange, I should say, sorry, since like 1980, 81, 82, something like that. Ish. So I've not watched it in about 40-something years, but I have seen it. Yeah. It's not something I would want to watch over and over again, to be honest, but I respect it. Thanks, Clobby. Kevin Smith was right for once about B versus S, BS versus BS, when he said that the film that answers the question, what if Batman and Superman were effing a-holes? Did he say that? Much as I can't stand Kevin Smith, I don't have to give him points on that one. But everybody in the Snyder movie is an a-hole. Why did you say that name? Brian says, ones I'll watch are Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and some of Justice League. Yeah, Justice League is, I mean, he had no, I'm not making an excuse for stupid Joss Whedon because he is an ass, but he took it and he inherited a bad movie. They said, you got to do something with this. He decided to do his own thing with it. And he had to use the same basic plot, quote unquote, plot in quotes. And he at least added one thing. He added characterization that felt more like the superheroes from the comic, instead of a bunch of just jackasses in costumes. They were jerks, edgelords in costumes. They actually made them act like superheroes, and he took all the murderous Wonder Woman stuff out of it and the murdery crap, and had the heroes kind of act more like superheroes because that's what he believed in. And I agree with him, even though he's an ass. Clobby, have you heard that Millie Gibbons has been dropped from Doctor Who? Yes, I did hear that. The young lady who was the companion, just started out the brand new companion for old Shooty Gatwy. I guess probably effective end of the season, Ezra. Not that anyone cares because Doctor Who's dead, but not that I don't know if I'm going to make myself watch that filth. I've watched enough. But yes, she's been dropped. She's not diverse enough for one thing, right? And why that just shows just not diverse enough with her there. They say their excuse is she was some kind of prima donna or some kind of horse hockey, like whatever. That girl, what? You can't keep that girl in line. He's sexist. I don't give a shit. Sexist. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. I'm sure she was just a monster. No, they probably said, "Look, we can make this even more diverse." I mean, but even if she is what is she, 19? Get out of here with that stuff. She's a monster. She's nobody. Shut up. She's not giving you any trouble. She just probably just doesn't fit what you want to do with it. So you just find some excuse. Yeah, I mean, you can't get out of here. RTD, you're a jackass. Blame it on, he wants to get rid of her, so he just blames it on the little girl. Linrod, I think I said earlier. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I guess I just find it hard to believe that any 19-year-old kid's going to be that bad that, where we have to get rid of her. She's just being such a jerk. Yeah, right. I mean, what's it? Christopher Eccleston was a jerk on the set. And you didn't get rid of him until, oh, yeah, you did. Oh, sorry. Kidding. Yeah, he did. He didn't get rid of him. He quit. So maybe it's you, RTD. But yeah, I'm defending the kid. I'm just saying, all right, whatever, baby. Replacing her with Verada Situ from Andor. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, whoever that is. I remember I using the word watched when I said I sat in front of Andor. Is probably giving it a whole lot. 4 episodes, and I kept trying to rewind because I kept falling asleep. So if your eyes weren't open the whole time, did you watch it? Did you watch something? If you were unable to hold your eyes open the whole time, were you watching it? Jesus, it's like Echo did the same crap to me. I watched. Good God, I sat through 2 episodes of Echo just because everyone else was watching. I was going to sort of semi-review it, and I don't care. It sucks so bad. I didn't watch it. Maybe go back and watch Daredevil. And funny how, because I was thinking it's just me. I'm old and fat and stupid, so I fall asleep. But I was thinking it was just me. And thinking, well, you just had a shape and old. You're going to fall asleep no matter what, right? So that's why you fall asleep during Andor. That's why you fall asleep during the, or Voyager, when I fall asleep during Voyager a lot. I've been thinking lately, it's just no matter what, I'm going to fall asleep, right? Well, like I told you at the beginning of the show here, I've been rewatching the great Netflix Daredevil show. I've watched the first 2 seasons, breezed through them. One night I was really tired. It was late. I probably fell asleep at one of them. For the most part, I could knock out 3 or 4 of those and not blink. No sleeping, no falling sleepy, and not eating anything either. I've been taking care of that where I don't eat in front of the TV like I used to. And I can stand there and sit there the whole time and watch it. Because it's good. So you know what? I'm going to start abandoning that line of reasoning that it's just because you're fat and old and you're eating too much and your sugars are imbalanced and this, that, and that. You know what? Maybe the show's the goddamn problem. That doesn't mean that sometimes I'm not so tired that if I throw something on even that I like that I couldn't, doze off once. And that's happened. For the most part, every time I'm in front of one of these stupid, shitty Marvel shows or shitty new Star Wars shows, I'm like, by the way, I can't confirm that I actually snored. I'm just using that as an example. Okay. And again, I was blaming me. I think I'm going to blame the show from now on. I'm not saying I'm not culpable, but screw them. I wanted to watch, bad or not, I wanted to watch so I'd have the info to talk about it. But no, man. And that happened to me on some Voyager episodes we've been reviewing. Oh, Tay, good to see you. Well, I hope your migraine gets better, sir. And I'm glad you stopped in to say hello. God bless you. God bless you. Absolutely. So, I was like, hey, I'm blaming you now, Marvel stupid TV show and stupid ass Disney Star Wars shit show that I've tried to sit through 5 times. And Star Trek Voyager, for that matter, that I have to review every week. If I'm falling asleep, it's your freaking fault, Captain Janeway, Captain Insane Way, Captain Bangway. If I'm falling asleep, it's your goddamn problem, Ruck Brown. Yeah. How about that? How about I blame them? Damn it! Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Because I don't fall asleep when I'm watching original Trek or Doctor Who that I love. I'll pull up a Pertwee episode. I can get all the way through that sucker. Like I said, once in a while I'm so tired it doesn't matter when I'm watching. I might doze once in a while. But I'm talking about like falling asleep 4 times and having, oh shit, I got to review this. So I'll rewind it back and try to find the part that I remember last. And go, all right, here we go again. And then sure enough, sometimes an hour later, I'm on an episode I don't even recognize. Holy shit, I got to back it up again. It's just... Clobby, did you hear She-Hulk has been canceled? I did hear that. Oh, moment of silence. She-Hulk is canceled, according to... Well, I don't know if that's an official announcement, but apparently that's rumor and people were talking about last week. So I don't know if, unless you've heard an official announcement, Ezra, but It might be. I just don't. I didn't look into it that much because I don't really. I mean, I don't care. I hope they. But it's a good win for everybody if they don't make something that horrible. But they're going to make their horrible crap. And what's next for Marvel? I mean, they've got an Agatha show coming up. Agatha. Holy shit! Are you people crazy? Echo. Nobody cared about Agatha. It's like this is obscure female character year for Marvel because Madam Web. Nobody's gonna go see Madam. Let's see let me ask you, who is more obscure? Because they all have features. Echo, Madam Web, or Agatha Harkness. I mean, Jesus Christ. Madam Web? Yes, they had to make her young. They didn't make her the old lady. Just like both Agatha and Madam Web, they had to make them young because they know they weren't, they're old ladies. The characters are old ladies in the comics. I have no idea who Agatha is, says Lenrod. No reason you should. Agatha Harkness is an old lady in the comic books, an old witch who babysits Franklin Richards of the Fantastic Four when he was a baby. And later she helped Wanda with powers. Well, WandaVision introduced her, but of course she was a young woman, a younger, young woman, 30s, whatever. And she was on that show, and for some reason they gave her a TV show. What? Why? I mean, Wanda at least was in some movies. Echo was in a few Daredevil comics. Then they stick her on Hawkeye, and they give her a TV show. Kevin Feige's a moron. What? Why would you do that? Waste, just wait. Go give that money to some kid. How about take all the money that you wasted on that and She-Hulk, the She-Hulk TV show, go give it to a homeless shelter. Go feed a bunch of people. Do something useless with it. I'm kidding about. Well, no, I'm not kidding. You should do something useless with that wasted shit that nobody's. Madam Web, another one, an old woman in the comic. And Madam Web movie coming out. It's coming out at Valentine's Day. Good night, Ravenscroft. Have a good one, my friend. Thank you. Well, I know she looked up. Hey, Jamalama, good to see you. Fanty, I know good and well she's hundreds of years old, but they cast a younger woman. She looks young. Dude, all right. You're cruising for a bruising, son.
It's a trap!
This is because you know good and well I know she's old, so this is on you. This is for you, Fanty.
Personal foul, crackback, 85, offense, 15-yard penalty.
Your agonizer, please.
I love you, Fanny. Don't worry about it. So, Madam Web, again, they've got. Again, I just realized there are two shows, one movie, 3 Marvel features, Disney features of characters that never had their own freaking comic book that I know of. 2 of them had to be aged down in looks. I know. 2 of them are old ladies that they turned into young ladies to look like young ladies anyway. If it makes you happy, Fanty. And another one's like, she's been in some Daredevil comics. Did Agatha ever have her own comic, Fanty? Did Madam Web, did they ever give her own? Maybe they did recently. If they did it recently, by the way, if they did it recently with the next 10 years, it doesn't even count for them. Madam Web, Jesus Christ. I know Sony doesn't have much in their back pocket, but holy shit. That's what you got at the box office in the little screen, Marvel. And they're reshooting. They have to reshoot their stupid so-called Captain America movie, their Captain Falcon movie. They can't hire old gals. They're boomers. The wokies don't like boomers. No, they don't. Just wait till they do a Living Mummy movie and ends up where they put him in the sarcophagus. What do you mean him? Yeah, there won't be a him. It boggles the mind. Won't start introducing the X-Men, one of the most popular Marvel IPs ever, yet, but instead bring not really Agatha Harkness, and Sony has made a Craven. Yeah, Craven. Also another one, Craven. Jeez, villain movies. That's another thing. Isn't Echo sort of like a? Well, they made her sort of here in the comic. I don't know. She's a villain to me. She acts like she's a villain. Agatha Harkness is kind of a villain / neutral type thing. Well, Madam Web was sort of a neutral. Craven. That movie was supposed to be last year. Big time Morbius vibes on that one. Craven the Hunter. Small Time Republic. What's up? Oh yeah, Moon Girl and Dinosaur, Devil Dinosaur. May they? That I can't sit to. That's an insult to Jack Kirby. They can burn in hell for that one. They can Darich. Yeah. So, Craven the Hunter. Really? He's a Spider-Man villain. Why are we giving a Spider-Man villain any Spider? Look, don't talk to me about Venom. I don't think he needed his movies either. But he's Venom at least. Listen, look. Just because I don't like him, I admit he's relatively popular in the comics, and it's still a stupid idea to do any Venom movies. Yeah, the first one I guess did all right. I don't care. Second one did it? Spider-Man. I mean, Craven the Hunter movie. What's wrong with you? When's the Doc Ock movie coming out? Doing all the Sinister Six, I guess. Mysterio movie's coming, I guess. Right? What other Spidey villains are going to do next? Just a guy named Joe? Like you said, the Kangaroo will be next, I guess. Tarantula. He's his own movie. Why, man? And how bad is it? Look, they have to redo Born Again and they have to redo Captain Falcon. Why? They're a joke. The stuff that's actually coming out, no one cares about, and they're redoing stuff. No one's going to give a shit about that either. They are a train wreck. In the 1990 Spider-Man animated series, Stan Lee's wife Joan did the voice. That's true of Madam Web. That is a true statement. She did. Her name was June, by the way. And she looked like the comic book version, who, by the way, didn't need a movie. Rhino, yeah, they need to do Rhino, do Sandman, do Jesus. Yeah, coming soon. I like that with Small Town Republic. Coming 2030 from Sony, Batroc the Leaper. Well, I guess, don't think they have access. Sony doesn't have access to him. Captain America's villain, so. Wow. Staggers the imagination. Madam Web, dude, seriously. And from the trailers, they're putting that stupid ass, was it Ezekiel character in it? I guess Morlun or whatever. Like, wow, that's a shitty Straczynski Spider-Man nothing villain. Electro definitely needs its own movie. Yeah, exactly, Ezra. Now you're getting the hang of it. I'm really waiting for a movie of Paste Pot Pete, personally. And then you got Deadpool coming out. At least, look, that's something that's made money before. Of all the crap Marvel's putting out now, will that make? I mean, it's got to make a lot of money because it's the only thing they got. And they're putting Wolverine in it, which is smart, I guess. So Deadpool's the only thing coming out that you can go, yeah, that should do well. Craven. Look, I'm betting Craven. They keep saying that's now. It was supposed to be out last August. Now they say this August. They'll push it back to August of 2027 or so. They'll probably just stick it on one of their stupid apps. I can't. Who's going to go to the movie theater to see Craven? I'm not. And I'll watch any stupid thing. Yeah, Molten Man and Wraith. There you go. Jesus. Keep naming the obscure ones, Fanty. I'm with you. Rocket Racer. I hear Craven, and all I can think of is the little action figure guy from the what? Oh, from the Domino's ads. Oh, for Domino. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, it says Linrod. Yeah. You know, Craven's a cool villain. That's the thing. Some of these are cool villains. I like Craven as a villain. By the way, Batroc was in Winter Soldier, yeah, but he was also. Oh, they killed Batroc in that stupid Falcon Winter Soldier movie. I mean, TV show. Sorry, they killed Batroc. What's it? Sharon Carter killed him. That show was a piece of shite. I hated it. Freaking hated Falcon Winter Soldier. That was a garbage show. It's trash. So yeah, they got nothing. Marvel, DC's got nothing till 2025. You'll just have to live without comic book movies this year, folks. I'm sorry. I know you're sad. You also have to live without Star Wars movies too, but we're talking comics tonight. But, yeah. Isn't that right? Got Ghostbusters coming out. Oh, we got Kong and Godzilla. I don't know about that one, boy. Woo. I mean, I think Godzilla -1 is so brilliant that they're gonna. I mean, even if Kong and Godzilla was entertaining, it's gonna make it look like. I don't know. It looks stupid anyway. I'll watch it, but who's gonna go see Kongzilla? I'm gonna go see and Ghostbusters, but aside from those two movies, I can't think of much else I'm gonna go see. Joe Dog says that Godzilla X Kong trailer was trash. I tend to agree. Can't say I'm worked up for it. Sony should try to get the rights to Karma from New Mutants. Teamer with the Chameleon. That's right, Clever Times. Chameleon, Karma, Chameleon. You said it, didn't you? Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to report you, sir.
Your agonizer, please.
Yeah, I mean, Fanty, I just can't let it stand. Man.
Personal foul, crackback, 85, offense, 15-yard penalty.
Yep. Penalty. God. Winter Soldier was my favorite Marvel movie, says Jamal. I agree, mine too. Infinity War was the best, but at the time, how much I liked it, I just loved Winter Soldier. Yeah, man, I love those two. Those are my two favorites. I love them. Ezra Goldstein says, Clobby, did you hear about Razor Fist's comment that DC Comics will be gone within 10 years? I don't know if I heard him say that. I really like Razor Fist. He's cool. I'm a big fan. I may have him. I'm not sure, but it's difficult to argue with. Certainly, the comic division of it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like farming those things out or something. But who knows? But he's probably. I would bet my money on that statement. I would bet if I had to bet that he's whether he's right or wrong. I would say bet he's right. And again, what do I know? But he's a much smarter young gentleman than I am, Razor Fist. And so I would probably say he has good cause to say that. Yeah. Yes, sir. And good riddance. DC. Look, I love a lot of the characters. DC Marvel, DC Comics. I was talking about this earlier about some of the things I've been learning about. DC Comics and Marvel Comics are built on blood. The blood of creators that they sucked out as corporate vampires, turned into big, big, big money. Very few of those creators have seen much at all other than in terms of recompense, and you're more mercenary or cynical person, like to say, well, they signed this and they signed that. Yeah, they did in a lot of cases. Work for hire contracts and different things like that. They did in a lot of cases. Doesn't make it right. If you want to be cavalier about it, I guess. But the point is, like these characters that you see here on my background there. A corporation didn't create those. People created them. Artists, writers, writer artists, cartoonists created them. The corporation paid to have them printed and processed and distributed. Sure, they took a risk. These creators got paid for a one-time deal. Now, many of them didn't even get their original art back. That's another story. And so a soulless, horrible corporation, quote unquote, owns these intellectual properties, which are these characters that you see here. Not one of these is owned by the original creator. The Kirby family gets a little bit of money right now. The Siegel family, even I think the Schuster family, Schuster to agree, they're getting a little bit of money at least. They had to be shamed into it, by the way. Oliver says Godzilla -1 will be coming out again, but it'll be black and white, as it's called Godzilla -1, no color. I'd like to go see that in black and white if they do that, if we get it around here. Sounds good to me, Oliver. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Javelama says, I didn't get to see -1. Hopefully it comes out in black and white in my local theater. Javelama, I mean, I don't go around recommending things around here because it's a fool's game, because you never know what someone's going to like or dislike, but I thought it was a great, for me, in my opinion, -1 was a brilliant film. Love it. Love it. I mean, beyond being a Godzilla fan, that's the one thing. It's so weird, but you tell somebody, man, that Godzilla movie, they're like automatically, I don't like Godzilla movies. Some people don't like Godzilla movies. That's fine. I think because what does it call the image? Just a goofy monster guy in a monster costume running around stepping on miniatures. That's what they think about. Rightly so. What else would you think about? When you try if you could try to, to convey to them how much deeper this movie is. It's not easy to do, but it's like, wow, this is like something you've never seen before. It's brilliant. Jamalama says, yeah, I grew up not liking Cap, but in Winter Soldier, he's not liking Cap. No. He's willing to give his life to protect others, especially his friend. Evan's performance is good and writing make Cap relatable and likable. Yeah, Captain America. I love him dearly, but thank you. Thank you for that. I understand RR. Everyone's opinion I respect and agree with 90%. Loved it, and also I love Godzilla, says Javelin. Well, there you go. Let's say I think you have a good shot of enjoying it. Then there you go. And that's what matters. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, so anybody else before we're going to make like a last call here? Any comic book questions or statements you would either like me to comment on or ask before we get out of here? If not, no biggie. We can start making our way to the exits. But Captain America had the best movie trilogy till Civil War, says Joe Dog. I agree, Joe Dog. I like Civil War. It has a lot of things wrong with it, but I hate the comic more. So Big Wheel, Leapfrog, and Puma. What gets you around? You can smell the sneak fry. I don't even know what that means. Fancy. Maybe I should have looked at it. Oliver says, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 will have a third printing as the first and second printing have been sold out. Yeah, but it's I hear you, and that's fine for them, but it's Ultimate Spider-Man Volume what #1? I mean, how many Ultimate Spider-Man #1s have there been? I'm asking. I honestly don't know. But they renumber everything so much that #1s don't mean anything anymore. It's pathetic. How many of each comic has a character had #1 of? legacy numbering is the only thing that matters. RTNZ said, who is the Silver Surfer's nemesis? He doesn't have a main baddie. I mean, obviously Galactus, who created him, is pretty bad, and he's messing around with Mephisto and Thanos and such like that. Have been enemies of his. But James Harbert, hello there. But I don't know if he has one that is a joke, like a Joker to his Batman or something, or a Luthor to his Superman. I don't know. I mean, maybe Fanty has an opinion on that. Silver Surfer, like I say, he's been all over the place. But I'm not sure who you would call his main, if he has a crucial nemesis or a main nemesis. I don't know. All right, then. I'll tell you what, we're going to start wrapping it up here. I want to thank you all for being here with me tonight. Let me do some couple show notes and then some shout outs, then we'll get out of here. Let's see. All right. Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, of course, I'm hanging out with the great Tom Connors on this channel. Midnight's Edge After Dark, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Wednesday nights when the fancy takes him, and Loki does because he's a very busy man, he can't always make it. But when Loki decides to do a comic book roundtable, I'll be there for that. And of course, Wednesday night, it's Wild Card Wednesday night. I'll be right back here, same time, same channel, same clubby time, same clubby channel. Talking just geeking out with you guys, basically. Just talking basic anything that comes up that's geekness, you know what I'm saying? So no I'm saying. And of course, there's the clubhouse. Thursday night clubhouse. Columbus Clubhouse will the usual with number one, of course, my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs, our great chief engineer, Mark D with a C, and a Blake 7 review and a Star Trek comics review. So that is always great fun. And then Friday nights, I'll be back over at J-Man's channel for Fearless Fridays. Frank Miller reviewing the Frank Miller Daredevil run. And I'm looking forward to that. It's always great fun. So we've been having a ball doing this. We'll be doing this for some time. That's going to take us a while. And it's great with Sean and Jay on his channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, a little bit later, I like to hang out with my good buddy, 32 Flavors of Dick Weiser, also on Friday nights at the Friday Night Comic Shop with the Friday Night Comic Shop boys. Thank you, West. Appreciate you. And we just do, 8:30 p.m. We Central. We review comics sometimes. We talk about various things going on in the comic biz and such. Great guys. And then Saturday night Stat Check. Same Trek time, same clubby channel, 9 p.m. Central. 4 more episodes reviewed of Star Trek Voyager with my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. And then, of course, it's back to the Sunday Night Geekery on the great Chief Engineer's channel, Mark D with the C's channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always have a great fun on Sunday nights doing that. And remember, everyone, January is Batman 66 month. Also, Blake 7 month, because it's how it all started in January as well. But Batman 66 is the reason we're here. Adam West, Burt Ward, hallelujah. So, to shout all of you great friends out, I really appreciate you for being here with us tonight. Eric K, Chris Persia, D. Bud Martin, Lord Doth, J. Man, Maddie Steady, Stephen Callell, A Phantom Outsider, Hungry Boy, Max Redstone, Larry, and all of you who've been with us tonight. Oliver Bellamonte, Jamalama, Wes Cagle, RNTNZ, Ezra Goldstein, Joe Dog, Lynn Rod, Jamie Harbert, anyone lurking out there in the chat. Out there lurking, rather. Thank you so much. And watching on a download or rewatch. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you. Let's see who else we have up in here that was here tonight. Let's see, RTNZ Ravenscroft. If I miss anybody, Brian Hepburn, Small Time Republic, OT, JT Kirk, Go Lions. Lynn Rod, Joe Dog. Penny was here, and of course, Christine Hunt was here. Agent Smith was here. Brian Hepburn. Christine Hurt, sorry. Hunt. I'm sorry, I can't read there. Christine Hurt was here. Lemon Pie. Kay Roberts. Let's see. Try to get everybody shouted out, folks. Always do. Courtney, it's Courtney, popped in earlier as well. Just Joe Jobber. The great Ace Cast Iron, buddy. Love you, bro. Good to see you. I like to get everybody shouted out. Just the way I am. Just the way I roll, folks. Get you whether to hear or not to get the shout out. That's how we roll up in you. That's the way it is. Wagner was here. Did I get Joe? Yeah, I think I got Joe Dog, but just in case, Joe Dog, in my stupid memory. So I take trust me, memory. West Cagle. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Let's see. Muhammad Saeed, Captain Infinity, Temperus, Maximus, and beyond. Scroll. Doc Fortune, what's up, Doc? Almost there. Claude Saleg, Dave C. DJ Play Nice. Almost there. Stay on target. Almost there. You're too close. Picasso. FKHC 2005. That's everybody, I think. All right. So, all right, my friends. Thank you so much for being here on Clobberin Times Monday night. Mark C. Comics Talk. Dedicated to our wonderful, dear departed buddy, Mark C. Shout out to him and his loved ones. We miss you, buddy, big time. So thank you all so much. And hey, let's get this week started. I hope we got it started decently for you. Let's get this week going, baby cakes. Move it. Good night, everybody. Clobber on.
Clobberin time! Clobber animal! time.